It's Mark from Sephton.com, and I want to speak to you about 6 tips of how to motivate yourself. So important in life that we are motivated, because people buy from your enthusiasm and from your passion, and you've got to be in an environment where you're constantly motivating yourself to be all that you can be. And there is times when life just crowds in and responsibilities and pressures just tend to start to weigh in on us. So I want to talk to you and break open a few nuggets around 6 tips to really motivate you, to really get your juices flowing, your heart racing and pumping, so that you can start taking new ground and new territory. And the first point is to really set an example. It's so important that you set high standards for yourself and for those around you, because when you start to set high standards, you start to hold yourself more accountable. And sometimes we have to do things just because they've got to be done. And actually the motivation, or at least the enjoyment of us doing something, comes after we step out. But so often people tend to make choices and decisions based on how they feel, whether it feels good, and sometimes you have to do it, and then that motivation, then that energy, then that passion starts to come through. So really set yourself high standards and be an example for yourself and for those around you. The second is to really focus on the happiness. When we focus on happiness and the things that fill our life with joy and excitement, it starts to remove us from those areas which are contentious and difficult. It really helps just start to motivate us again in terms of what we're doing. Why are you creating your personal brand, your personal business? For me, I want to be able to liberate others. I want to create a wealth of experience and knowledge which people can implement. And fundamentally, I just want to live. I want to enjoy myself. I'm not materialistic, but I want to be able to do the things that I want to do, and I want to be able to liberate other people. So make sure that you focus on your happiness. The third one is to celebrate your success. So just make sure that in life, that when you do something well, that you reward yourself. I think it's vitally important. I think it's important to be disciplined. I think it's important to rein things in, have a healthy lifestyle. But I also think it's good just to be very liberal at times, to celebrate your success, acknowledge the success that you've done and the little wins that you've created. And be nice to yourself, pamper yourself, go for a massage, have a glass of wine, go to a health spa, do something that's like, Mark, you've done really well, this is what we're going to do. Make sure you've got that in your repertoire, of life. Next point is to create a culture for yourself and an environment which is, self-sustaining, it's positive, it's energetic. You're creating a culture which is only bringing out the best in you, and having that atmosphere where you can breathe, because that's what inspire means. It means to breathe upon, or breathe on, or breathe within. So inspire yourself, create a culture which is positive and only going to draw out that motivation. The next point is to welcome feedback. Sometimes we can resist, can't we? We get defensive, we get our guard up. It's really important to welcome feedback so that you can really take aboard what people are saying, because people buy from people. It's a cliche that we hear time and time again, and sometimes it's probably overplayed, but it's true. People buy, people like yourself that are listening to this. I hope you're listening to it because of the fact that you either like me, know me, or trust me, and you think what I've got to say is actually valuable. And if you don't, then you stopped it 2 minutes ago and you haven't heard this. So but understand what I'm saying in terms of welcoming feedback. Allow people to speak and don't get offended. Feedback's really important for us to be able to grow. I think one of the keys to success is having a teachable spirit. And the last point is to stay in touch with yourself. Make sure you don't lose focus of who you are and what you're about, and don't take on jobs in particular just because somebody's willing to pay you for it. If it isn't in line with your passion, turn it down, say no. Often if we get stressed or frustrated, it's because we've started to not say no enough. We've said yes too many times. We really need to make sure that we're in tune with ourselves, with how we feel, with how we think, our own energy levels, our own mentality, the health of our mind. Are we feeling lonely? Are we feeling depressed? Are we tired? And just be mindful and make sure that you ask for help and plug yourself into the correct sort of environment. You can find out more about me at marksefton.com, and I really appreciate all the comments that I'm starting to get after each video. So again, I'm open to feedback. You know, that's part of my own motivation. And I speak, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.